As of right now, Counter-Strike 2 is a massive talking point within the gaming community, with Nvidia's new game profile showing up in the February updates. The title will reportedly be released as a sequel to Valve's biggest first-person shooter creation, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. The prequel title has established a long and shining legacy in esports. The competitive stage that it is presented brought several talented players into the spotlight. A lot of hype surrounds the possibility of a Counter-Strike 2's release, as it can add more value and bring new opportunities for young players looking to join the esports industry. And in today's video, we'll go through everything we know about this and what it could mean for the esports industry as a whole and how it could change things. We'll go through everything we know about Counter-Strike 2 within this video, so let's waste no more time and let's get straight into it. So, a recent report from Richard Lewis all but confirmed a release of a Counter-Strike 2 beta. This means that within a coming month, we should be receiving a beta for this new Counter-Strike 2, or well, as many are calling it, Counter-Strike Source 2. So, you're probably wondering, well, how the hell did all of this actually come about? How did this all start? And well, it actually started with a update for Nvidia's drivers at the end of February, which showed a CSGO 2 executable within the hidden code. And with this, it also, obviously creates the rumors for a Counter-Strike 2. This is referenced as Source 2 as an upgrade for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So, as I mentioned, the beta for Counter-Strike 2 using the updated Source 2 engine is due to release as early as this month, and that is according to the Lewis sources, which is basically a user on Twitter, and I'll link all of these down in the description below. But all of these are very reputable people, and they have been within the gaming industry for a while now, and they have always been very reliable, so I have no doubt that this is definitely true. So with all of that, let's go over everything we know about this Counter-Strike 2 and how it could possibly work. We'll just get into everything we know now. So what is the CSGO 2 engine? The most obvious change for any new version of a Counter-Strike would obviously be the engine, and this is going to be the Source 2 engine. CSGO currently runs on the original Source engine, which, although updated over time, it does date back as far as 2004, so it is by no means new. Source 2 is Valve's new iteration of the engine. It did release in 2014 and is already in use for Dota 2, Artifact, Dota Underlords, and Half-Life. The one big thing missing there, and probably the biggest thing missing there, is of course CSGO, which is yet to be upgraded to the Source 2 engine, and Valve has avoided any official confirmation of that so far. But obviously, on the 5th of March, a veteran esports journalist, which we just mentioned, Richard Lewis, reported that the Source 2 version of CSGO will release the same month. And with that news, we also got some news about the features that would be part of this new version of CSGO, and I'll get into those features right now. So, first of all, it will be introducing 128 tick servers at launch. This has been a heavily requested feature from CSGO players for a very, very long time, and I'll explain what it is for those of you that don't know. So, the current CSGO title operates on a 64-tick server in the official matchmaking system. The newer shooter titles have already moved on to 128-tick systems, making their performance smoother and more consistent. Players can still find a few community servers in CSGO that feature a 128-tick rate, and the reason for this implementation is obviously to reduce the need for those third-party matchmaking systems like Faceit and ESEA. This is overall going to make the online experience much smoother. This means basically there'll be less latency, and generally things are going to be more smooth between players when you are playing online together and against each other. Basically, yeah, just making these servers more reliable and more smooth in general. Definitely a solid upgrade, and it's nice to see it, being modernized, since all of the other first-person shooters such as Valorant, a very similar game, has moved on, or well, started with 128 tick servers at launch. This is something that with CSGO Source 2 we will definitely be seeing. Along with that, an improved matchmaking system is planned to be part of this as well. This could change the ranking system within the game, something we saw with Overwatch 2. It could be something like that, where how ranks are given out within the competitive scene will change. It could be like that, or it could just be, upgrading the queue times and something like that. It could just be anything like that, or of course, it could be changing the way that you select maps. We really don't know yet, but overall, this will hopefully just improve things and make things better, and just a better experience for players. But this really could vary. This could mean that we'll no longer be having cooldowns when we play competitive matches and win a certain amount, since then you do have to go on a 21-hour cooldown, which isn't great. Or of course, the placement system for matches may be changing as well, or generally just the skill-based matchmaking will be upgraded in some way, or just altered. We really don't know yet, but overall, the matchmaking system will be improved within this new version of Counter-Strike. There is also going to be some improved graphics and general fidelity, making the game at a higher resolution, and generally just improving the overall graphics of the game. Now, the game did release about 10 years ago, so it is, the graphics are a little bit outdated. That's not to say they're awful, I think they're fine, but obviously there is room for improvement, and it looks like that will be one of the improvements. It might not be a massive change, but obviously if we're upgrading to the Source 2 engine, then we can definitely expect some improvements with the graphics. We can also expect some slight improvements with the overall mechanics of the game. The mechanics might be slightly altered, which could change things for the esports scene. We'll get onto that later, but generally speaking, the improvements with the mechanics will just be improvements. They won't necessarily be significant changes, since that's not really needed. The main thing is obviously making sure there's no bugs and anything like that, and that is of course the main reason for a beta. The beta should be happening, like we mentioned, this month in March, and apparently it has already been tested with a small group of professional CSGO players within Valve's headquarters in Seattle. That has been said by some sources, and it looks like that is definitely the case. But either way, we'll be getting a proper beta this month, hopefully, with April 1st at the latest. The big priority at the moment is for Valve to get this beta out and then polish it, fixing any bugs and bringing it up to the level that people would expect from Counter-Strike. Now, those are the sort of main, well, not confirmed, but generally close to being confirmed features that will be with Counter-Strike 2. But of course, there are things that fans would want, and we'll get onto that now. First of all, it is for an improved replay system. At the moment, the replay system isn't very smooth, and overall, it just isn't great, and it is quite old and can run into a lot of problems. Hopefully, with Counter-Strike 2, that could be improved. Another thing is for a matchmaking overhaul, which would add leaderboards and stuff like that. Something we see a lot with modern games, but not really with Counter-Strike, so hopefully that would be a cool addition. And another massive one is Twitch drops. Counter-Strike is actually massive on the Twitch scene, particularly due to its esports scene, and being able to have Twitch drops for certain skins would be absolutely huge and could really improve the overall viewership even more on Twitch. So yeah, that would definitely be a great implementation. Another massive improvement would be a proper anti-cheat. Valorant was actually one of the first esports titles to feature intrusive anti-cheat software. The developers can leap and join the list with Counter-Strike 2. Implementing more powerful anti-cheat software could solve one of the biggest complaints of the player base. The use of third-party software or hack tools is a bannable offense in all online multiplayer titles, of course. A new anti-cheat system could deter hackers from flooding into Valve's potential upcoming title, Counter-Strike 2, something that would be a great addition and would overall just improve things. So those are some improvements that would be great to see within Source 2 of Counter-Strike. But now let's actually look at when we could see this and generally how things are looking so far with confirmed information, everything like that. So first of all, the game has actually been in testing since December of last year with small groups of professional players and developers, and there are already maps that have Source 2 versions. This was confirmed actually back in July of 2022, these being Shoot, Inferno, Lake, Overpass, Short Dust and Italy. Of course, there are going to be more now, but back then those were already ready with Source 2 versions. So as we mentioned, the beta will be arriving by April 1st, with a proper release probably being this year or anytime soon really, or it could be next year. We really don't know much about that, but we do know that it will be soon, and it isn't that far away, so it's definitely something to really be looking forward to as we get pretty close to this actually being a proper thing. But it is also worth noting that this won't be its own game. It has been confirmed that this is not going to be a brand new game. This will be continuing with Counter-Strike. One of the biggest parts of Counter-Strike, like we mentioned earlier, is the skins and the cases. For example, in February of 2023, around 30 million CSGO cases were opened, which is an incredible amount, and obviously that is a massive amount of revenue every month for Valve, and if they were to just remove this with a new version, then this would rapidly decrease. So of course they're not going to do that. It's been confirmed by leakers that it won't be a new game, it won't be Counter-Strike 2, it won't even be a rebrand, just CSGO Source 2, and your skins are fine, they will be available in the new version. So this will be an update for the already existing CSGO game, but of course just optimizing it for the new engine, which is of course CSGO, well not CSGO, but just the Source 2 engine for CSGO. And this means that the CSGO skin economy can continue with potentially billions of dollars of Valve collectively held in players' accounts and on trading websites. That will all be continuing absolutely fine. So you're probably wondering, well, what does this all mean for the esports scene? Well, if anything, this just means it's going to get more popular. The game will be continuing as it is, but with what will hopefully be a massive improvement to the game. We'll be seeing improved mechanics and generally some improved graphics and hopefully an improved spectator system, making things all run smoothly and just improving the game overall, improving stability and everything like that. So there's no reason that this shouldn't improve the esports scene as well. Of course, it might take a little bit of time for players to adapt to the slightly new mechanics and of course the better graphics, but over time, and it shouldn't take long at all, this will just be a great improvement for the esports scene, making everything slightly better. So that is everything we know so far about CSGO Source 2, and that does just about wrap up things here. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell well, so you don't miss any content just like this. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.